Synergy is a colony sim with an environmental twist that has just dropped in early access. In this video, we'll be taking a first sip of this game, giving an overview of what the game is currently like and what we can expect as it makes its way to full release. This is something we do regularly here at the Indie Brew, so make sure to subscribe for more indie game content. Without further ado, let's take a sip of this early access game. Synergy follows in the footsteps of many other games in this genre with a pretty basic and non-intrusive storyline. The story starts you off at a brand new location after you were forced to evacuate your previous home, and you'll need to build from the ground up to establish your new colony whilst also figuring out what the environment of the planet you've landed on is like. What does stand out as different in this one is the exploration missions and the stories that come along with those. You can unlock the exploration missions as you progress through the basic research tree, and then you can send out your citizens on expeditions. Each of these missions sees you have a choose your own adventure type encounter that has varying effects depending on what options you choose, and it has a pretty heavy story based element to it, really fleshing out the game well. Given that it's an early access game and given the genre of this game, I think the story side is looking really promising, giving a pretty unique story experience that enriches the gameplay and the lore of the planet you're on too. Synergy has some pretty solid colony sim city builder type mechanics that we've come to know and love. We have various resource collection activities for different resources for building, research, and food. There's different production buildings for making different things or cooking meals, and there's a whole range of well-being, social, and culture buildings too, with each house having different scores for each. As you are on a planet you know nothing about, you kind of have no idea what resources you're collecting. That is until you build a field lab and get analyzing all of the different trees, plants, rocks, and so on the planet. This will give you an idea of what resources each will provide, and there's different options for collecting such as picking, pruning, or ripping that often yield different resources too. The research side of the game is pretty in-depth already. The field lab side is combined with a tech and culture research tree, giving you a variety of different buildings you can unlock, and exploring the world around you can sometimes result in finding a tablet full of ancient knowledge that you can research to unlock more buildings or upgrades. I was pretty surprised at how in-depth the resource and research sides of the game are. You can definitely tell there's more to come, but they already feel pretty fleshed out and give you lots of options as to how to grow your colony. I will say that the gameplay at the moment is pretty slow. I did find myself often waiting for resources to be collected or for an expedition to return, with not a whole lot to manage once you get to a certain point. That being said, there's definitely room for this game to grow, and I can't wait to see where they head with the content for the game. Synergy has a really cool design that's pretty different to anything else in this genre. Going with more of a cartoon style, but like a serious cartoon, not funny cartoon. The game really stands out, and it really creates a cool alien vibe to the game. Combined with the nice soundtrack and sound effects, the game feels pretty polished in terms of design, which was surprising for an early access title. I really enjoyed the illustration of the encounters and all of the individual elements, and I can't wait to see how they expand this as they develop the game more and add more content in. We don't yet have a roadmap for this one, but there's definitely more content and improvements for existing features on the way. So if you're on the fence about this one, definitely add it to your wishlist so you can keep up with any future updates. Synergy is a pretty solid colony sim game with a cool, unique art style and some interesting spins on your typical colony sim mechanics. The game can be pretty slow, but if you're looking for a more laid-back city builder, this could be one to check out. It does sit at a bit of a higher price point for a game of this size at the moment, so I'd probably hold off on purchasing until a bit more content is added, but it's definitely got some pretty great bones to build off, and it's still an enjoyable time even at this relatively early stage of development. That is a wrap on this first look at Synergy. Will you be picking up this colony sim game? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking for more indie game recommendations, you can find some more right here. Until next time, stay caffeinated.